So I have two more questions here, and this one is that some scholars have said that the consumption of hallucinogens is a poor substitute for the long, hard road of spiritual discipline that it takes, they claim, to become truly enlightened. How do you respond to this point of view?
Well, I don't know. I guess they're truly enlightened. That's a tough thing to knock. This is an ongoing and endless argument at every level in anthropology. The two great proponents of it that I'm familiar with in the area of shamanism were Mircea, who took the position that what he called narcotic shamanism was somehow decadent, and that the real shamanism was running on ordeals and wilderness abandonment and this sort of thing. I hear the echo of Calvinism in that position. I mean, I don't think primitive or Aboriginal people were any more fond of discomfort and unpleasantness than we are, and faced with a number of methods to get to the same goal, most of us would choose the most effective and non-destructive method. I really think that when direct access to the mystery or to the spirit became problematic for any reason, that's when you then get codification of dogma, appointment of special classes of people to interpret for the rest of us the wishes of the invisible world, and then you get moral laundry lists of do's and don'ts, and the whole thing turns into organized religion. So the phobia that most of these organized religions exhibit toward the psychedelic experience is simply, I think they sense in it a very powerful competitor for their customer base.
You mentioned that you traveled around Asia for a long time trying out these yogic disciplines and they didn't work for you. Is that true?
It's not that they don't work, it's that they do not deliver the psychedelic experience.
I see.
They deliver experiences, very interesting experiences, very useful experiences, and they certainly teach self-discipline and all of that. I have never been one to claim for the psychedelic experience that it was a direct pipeline to the deity. I have my own thoughts about all of that.
Sure.
But I do think that organized religion, there is a tension within it. It's really set against itself, because religion is in the moment and seeks to address man's yearning beyond this world. And yet, inevitably, religion becomes about its investment schemes, its own self-aggrandizement, its wish to pull more people and more territory under its sway. So I've always felt that the authentic religious journey was something that was going to happen between a single human being and spirit as they could define it and access it. And I think it's a pity that religion is so fearful of direct experience that it inevitably places an elite class between the ordinary seeker and the mystery.
I'm just curious. Have you ever taken psilocybin in conjunction with an isolation tank? Does that?
I've never done it actually in a tank. I do think that you don't have to go that far, but that the best environment for these things is, I just call it comfortable silent darkness. And some people want you to listen to music. That certainly will sweep you away, but we can't do anything with the news that Bach is God. You know that.
That's old news.
That's old. I think when people think they have to have music or they have to have art books stacked up around them, they're already selling themselves short. The inner riches of the silent single mind is beyond anything we have ever created in any courtly situation or in any splendorous society that we've put together on this planet. And really, that news is tremendously existentially empowering. For instance, the whole consumer society that we're embedded in, it's really a system for delivering marvels. Toys, clothing, games, entertainment. It's all to astonish you and to sweep you away. Well, if you were growing mushrooms in the cow manure in your backyard, you would quickly gain a completely different relationship to such wonders. You would realize that, of course, there's an infinitude of such wonders, and most of them lie within me. So, again, I see culture offering cheap substitutes for authentic experience. You probably know Morris Berman's book, Coming to Our Senses. It's a wonderful book, and it's not a psychedelic book, but it's an impassioned plea for what I call the felt presence of immediate experience. And this is who we are, it's where we are, and culture is somehow neurotically aligned against it. And culture wants you to regret the past, anticipate the future, and barely notice the felt presence of immediate experience. And to my mind, this is the most toxic value that we tolerate, the devaluation of our feelings as they occur to us in the act of living in the moment, in a defined locus of space-time. That's who we are. That's all we will ever be. And, a world made out of hope and regret is a very pale substitute for that feeling of being vitally connected and present in the living world.
Your ideas about resonance through time have much in common with Sheldrake's morphic resonance and Abraham's vibration research. Other than the trialogues, do you think the three of you would ever consider collaborating on a book together?
We're tight, and in fact, we've done a whole second set of trialogues.
Oh, great!
All set, and all we need is a publisher crazy enough to publish them. Although the first book, I don't think it did terribly well in English, but it was very, very well received in Germany.
I'll bet it was.
But yeah, I feel very, very close to those guys. I mean, I think Rupert's theory of a morphogenetic field and my time wave are basically two sides of one coin, and then Ralph's chaos dynamics and all that offers the larger intellectual environment in which those ideas have to be contextualized.
Bear & Company doesn't want to do a sequel to the trialogues?
I don't think we talk to enough angels for Bear &
Oh, that's too bad. I loved the first set. Great stuff.
Tell them it doesn't have to come from Seth.
That's too bad. So, are you working on a new book right now yourself? Do you have something new coming?
Well, I'm always working on something. Yes, I have a book I'm working on with co-author Philippe de Vaugelet, and we're doing a book called Casting Nets into the Sea of Mind.
Oh, great.
And a lot of it is talk about... I'm very interested in technology and where it's taking us.
That's great.
And and then a lot of sort of trying to firm